Now I'm going to go over how to value a bond, but before I do that, let me just go over the overview of what a bond is and how it works. So as I said before, a bond is equal to debt for the company. So if you buy a bond, it's not debt, you're loaning the money to the company, and the company is borrowing from you instead of borrowing from the bank. Okay, so essentially what you're doing is, and I'm going to say the bond is, most bonds are $1,000. So you give the company $1,000 cash, and the company gives you interest over the life of the bond, plus they'll repay the $1,000, which is the principal, at the end. Okay, so a couple of key terms are, actually let's do how the structure of the bond works. And if I do a 4-year bond, and I'm going to say, let's suppose you have $1,000, and I'm going to say the interest is 10% to keep the math simple, and the principal is the $1,000. So what ends up happening is the company will pay you $100 per year for 4 years. This is the life of the bond, and at the end they'll pay you your principal back. Okay, and this is from the investor's perspective. So this is cash flow that you will receive. So if I look at this, if I'm doing a valuation of this, what would I do as a value? I can see that these two things are different. This is an annuity. So if I took the present value of an annuity, I would get the value of this interest stream. This is a lump sum. So if I take the present value of the lump sum, I would get the value of the principal. If I add the two together, I get the value of the bond. And we're just going to use those present value formulas. Okay. Before I start using them, let's go over a couple of key terms. The coupon is the interest payment per period. Okay, so this is important. It could pay per year, it could pay per month, every 6 months. So this is the dollar payment. N is the number of interest payments left in the life of this bond. R, we'll talk about, is the yield per period. And the yield is another way of saying the current market rate. So you could have issued this bond for 3%, and now interest rates are 5%. So in that case, your bond isn't as valuable. The yield would be 5%. And the face value is the value of the bond, or the principal. Okay, so it's usually $1,000, unless stated otherwise in the question. So that is the way that some of the key terms. The formula for a bond is, bond price is just going to be the sum of the annuity. So the coupon times 1 minus 1 over 1 plus r to the n over r. Now remember, the coupon is in dollar terms, so that's the annuity payment, plus the face value divided by 1 plus r to the n. So the key here is you want to make sure that you're looking at the correct period. So if it's per year, n is in years. If it's per month, you multiply it by 12, and so on. So let's do a question. Find the present value as of July 1st, 2019. So this is sort of a weird middle of the year calculation for a coupon Government of Canada bond with semi-annual payments, so 2 payments per year. Okay, so that's going to be important in a bit. Maturity date is December 2024. Okay, yield to maturity. So yield to maturity is the yield, and this is the annual yield. So we'll have to convert it. Face value is 1,000. Coupon payments are made semi-annually in June and December. And the coupon rate is 6 3/8. So that's 6 3/8% per year. Okay, so you would divide that by 2, and they've already given us 31,875. So let's write the variables. The simple thing to do before we start is, so we know what the face value is, $1,000. The coupon is, in this case, they gave it to us 31,875. But if we needed to calculate it, it would have been the $1,000 bond times 6 3/8% divided by 2, because it's paid twice a year. N is the number of payments left. So started in July 2019, matures in December 2024. So it's a 5.5 year timeline that's left, but you're paying twice per year. So the number of payments will be 11. And the yield was given as 5% per year. But since we're doing it semi-annually, we're going to divide it by 2. So it becomes 0.025. So now we just plug everything in to the bond price formula, and we get the following. Coupon of 31,875 times 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 0.025 to the power of 11 over 0.025 plus the face value of 1,000 divided by 1.025 to the power of 11. And we get 1065.41. Okay, so this is the price of the bond, and it makes sense. So this is called a premium bond. And the reason for that is because the value, the market value, is greater than the face value. If it was the opposite, and in this case it makes sense because the current rate is 5 and it's paying 6 3/8, so it's an attractive bond. A discount bond is one where the market value is below face value. And the only other type of bond is the par bond, where market is equal to the face value of the bond.